I was training a doctor recently who went home and shut down her entire practice and said, I just want to do this. This is amazing. This is changing my clients in an hour.
Your mind doesn't care. Your mind doesn't care if what you tell it is good or bad, right or wrong, healthy or unhealthy. It just believes it. So I'm going to give you a crash course in how to run your brain in 25 minutes, and you really can do it. So I've always been fascinated by human behavior and how the brain works, and I've spent most of my adult life studying how the mind works, which is why I became a therapist. And I was very lucky because I got voted best therapist in Britain and got voted the best of the best in Tatler and in lots of other magazines too. And I only tell you that because that opened so many doors for me, and suddenly I'm being flown all over the world working with Olympic athletes and rock stars. And that was great for me because then I got a chance to really look at how people's brains work. And I was fascinated by how people who've got everything have a bit of a different mindset. I had two types of clients, those that had everything and loved it, and those who had everything and thought, how quickly can I fuck this up? And it was really interesting how their mind worked. So when I was studying to be a therapist, my teacher, who was very eminent, said to me, but he said to the whole class, the mind is really complicated. It's extraordinarily complex. Takes a lifetime to understand and a lifetime to master. And I thought, well, how's that going to work then? Who's got a lifetime to work with their patients? Not me. I haven't even got a lifetime to sort out my own brain, let alone someone else's. So I thought that was a strange thing, that we're taught our mind is complicated, complex, takes a lifetime to master. Maybe by the time you're 90, you might have got it worked out, but that's a bit too late. But I found three things, and in my own school, I've been teaching them to people who are now becoming extraordinary therapists too. So you need to know three things about your brain, and I'm going to tell you what they are, and you're going to put them into practice, and I promise you, it will change your life, and you can have pretty much whatever you want. So let's start with number one. This is how your brain works. It does what it thinks you want it to do. Sadly, it works off information you gave it once upon a lifetime ago when you were 6 or 10 or 15. But your mind is always doing what it thinks you want. It's always doing what it truly believes is in your very, very best interest. So if any of you here have got a habit you'd love to be free of, but guess what? You still got it. Your mind thinks, no, you don't really want to be free of that. And anyway, it's better for you to keep it. On the other hand, if there's a habit you'd love to acquire, like speaking in public, being really successful, believing in yourself, not eating junk, your mind thinks, nope, it's in your best interest to keep that habit. And so everything I'm going to teach you today, I didn't learn from a book. I learned from my own patients. And I was told I could never have children and I just have to get over it. But I knew even then I wasn't going to believe that. And I'm very much known as a therapist. So when doctors can't get anywhere with their patients, they send them to me. And for a while, because I was told I was infertile and then proved that not to be the case, I worked with infertile women and almost always got them pregnant, usually by the very next cycle, even if they hadn't had a period for 10 years, because you really can feel miracles when you understand how the brain works. So doctors would say, okay, this patient has unexplained infertility. Well, what does that mean? It means I can't explain it. There's nothing wrong with their body. They have periods, eggs are fine, husband's sperm's fine, can't have a baby. So they'd come to see me and I'd usually regress them back. And they always came up with the same thing. Where are you? I'm 17. What's going on? Oh my God, I think I could be pregnant. My dad's going to kill me. I'm going to get thrown out of the house. I'll get kicked out of school. Where are you? Oh, I think I might be pregnant and I'm going to lose my job. Or sometimes you just go back to normal things, like saying to their boyfriend every month, for God's sake, don't get me pregnant. That would be a nightmare. And now the brain is very clear. You don't want a baby. God, no. You've used nightmare, hell, disaster. My dad will kill me. You don't want a baby. And now the brain is very clear. You don't want a baby. It's like, no, that was when I was 16. Now I'm 36. I've just spent 20 grand on IVF. I really do want a baby. But the mind doesn't catch up with you. We think we're so smart and our mind is so evolved, but it is often stuck in the past. So who here has done this? Who here has said, I'm dreading going to that meeting next Wednesday. Why did I volunteer to speak? I'd give anything not to have to go and chair the meeting, speak up, go. Anyone ever done that? Anyone notice that as that day comes around, they're sick? Because here's how the mind works. You say, oh my God, I volunteered to chair that meeting. I must have been out of my mind. die if I've got to go on stage. I don't want to do that. And your brain's like, leave that with me. Now next Wednesday comes and you wake up with diarrhea and your brain's like, how cool am I? You can't even leave the bathroom. No, let alone go for that meeting. Who here has ever said, I'm so stressed, I'm pushed to the max here, I'm at my limit, what I would give for a weekend in bed just lying around? Your brain's gone, oh, do you want the flu? I could give you that tomorrow. Now there you are in bed. And of course, that's not what you wanted, but you've got to be very, very clear with the brain. Because this is your brain's job, and it really is this specific. Your brain's job is to keep you alive on the planet. And it does that by moving you away from anything it thinks will cause you pain. So when we were tribes people, we didn't really wander too far from the tribe. We didn't eat anything that looked a bit odd because we survived by linking pain to something. And life hasn't changed. Anyone here ever eaten something that's made them really, really sick, like mushrooms? Still eat them now? Anyone had really bad food poisoning? Anyone find they cannot now eat that food that they were up all night bringing up over the toilet? Sure, because when you go, oh my God, I'll never eat seafood again as long as I live, your brain remembers. Next time you see seafood, you kind of feel a bit odd and think, oh, no, I can't eat that. No, no, no. So your brain's job, very clear, move you away from pain. So what do you think happens when you drive to work going, this traffic is killing me. I am dying in this job. My client is hell. My boss is a nightmare. I'm going up the wall with stress. Well, your mind goes, okay, let me just get that again. Your job is killing you. Your boss is driving you crazy. You're up to the wall with stress and you're dying under your paperwork. Well, I don't think you should go back to that job anymore. So I can make you really sick so you can't go. And if you ignore me, I'll just make you sicker. I can give you an ulcer. I can give you panic attacks. That's what the mind does. So give you an example. One of my clients was telling me that when he was a kid, he had to read out loud. And he had to read out stomach. And when he got to it, he read stomach. My stomach ate. And all the children laughed, and even the teacher laughed, and he went bright red. And his brain starts to search for, oh, what's making you so stressed? Oh, you read out loud. You drew attention to yourself. Everyone laughed at you. Don't ever do that again. And so many, many, many years pass, and he decides to go for an interview. And his brain's like going, what are you doing? Don't you remember what you said? You were never going to draw attention to yourself again. You seem to be going for an interview. I'll make you really anxious and nervous, then you won't go. For other people, that's they go, you know, I thought I could do that public speaking, but actually when it came to it, I was so nervous, I pulled out of it. And I've never done it since. That's one group. Second group, ignore that and go, no, I've got to do it. I want to do it. And they do it under terrible duress. They're anxious, they're stressed, and their brain's going, hello, why are you ignoring all these fantastic illnesses I'm coming out with to get you off that stage? You appear to be on that stage, so I'll just crank them up even more. Third group, they're much smarter. They dialogue with their brain very, very, very differently. So let me give you an example. Who here's got their own business or would like their own business? Okay. So when you have your own business or you write books or you speak, you often have to work weekends. Sometimes you have to work nights. And so if you're sitting at home, this is you going, oh God, I've got to spend all weekend writing. This is so hard. It's really boring. All my friends are in the pub. Your brain's like, you don't really want to do that. Why don't I have you tidy up your sock drawer for 3 hours and empty out your emails because you don't want to do that work. And you go, no, I've got to do it. I have to do it. It's so boring, but I must do it. And your brain's like, I'm going to distract you because your brain's job is to put up resistance if you don't want to do something. So it's really poor communication saying I've got to and I have to and it's really hard and it's dull. And it isn't just using words like this is a nightmare, this is hell, just saying this is so boring. Oh, this is so dull. It's enough to get your brain to say move. So this is how you communicate with your brain. You say to it, I have my own business. I really want to do this. I have chosen to work through the night. I've chosen to do it. I've chosen to feel great about it because I've chosen to be successful. And your brain goes, you really want to work all night? Yep, I really want to work all night. And I'm going to say it excites me to work all night. It empowers me to work all night. It thrills me. My brain's like, yeah, I got it. Great. So instead of making you resist, I can just give you loads of energy and I can set you on fire and you can work all night because you told me you want it, you like it, you've chosen it, and you've chosen to feel great about it. So I learned this technique when I was working. I used to work on a lot of shows with very fat celebrities with the idea that we'd get them very thin. And one day we were working with some Marines in Wales, and the Marines were running up a hill. It was pouring with rain. They were running through sheep shit. They had half their body weight on their back, and they had a miner's light strapped onto their head. And so they're running, and the brain's going, yeah, this is a bit weird. You're running up a hill in the pouring rain. You've got a miner's light on your head. You've got half your body weight on your back. It's freezing cold, but you're singing. And of course, because the Marine's singing, the brain's like, yeah, well, I guess you like this stuff. I mean, you're singing, you must like it. I don't have to do anything because you like it. And that's why people sing when they're doing something difficult. Now, the celebrities, okay, here's the miner's light. They go, if you think I'm putting that miner's light on my head, you are out of your fucking mind. There's no way, excuse me swearing, I'm going to wear that. You think I'm going to run through sheep shit in the rain at 7 o'clock at night? I'm not doing that. And of course, they couldn't do it because they said, I'm not doing it. Whereas when you say, I've chosen to do this, I want to do this, this excites me, it empowers me, then you get what you want. So let me just move on to, how many people have done this? Thought I want some time off and got really sick. Let's go on to our next slide. Because this is not positive thinking. It's nothing like that. This is clear, specific, detailed, precise communication with your mind. And when you're detailed, you get whatever you want. Because your mind doesn't care. Your mind doesn't care if what you tell it is good or bad, right or wrong, healthy or unhealthy. It just believes it. So who likes to have proof that everything I'm saying is true? Stand up and let's have a little bit of proof. So I want you to remember this. Your mind does not care what you tell it. If it's positive or negative, good or bad, healthy, unhealthy, it just goes in. So I want you all to take your left arm and I want you to point your left arm out like that. And all you're going to do, have a little rehearsal so you don't poke out your neighbor's eye. All you're going to do is that. So you might need to come forwards or out a bit. So all I want you to do is everyone take their left arm and I want you to take it as far back behind as it will go. Push it to where it is. Now look over your shoulder and just notice where your left arm is. That's all you have to do. Notice where it is. Bring it back. Drop your arm down again. Close your eyes. And you're going to have a bit of amazing proof now. I want you to tell your left arm in a minute, when I repeat this exercise, you will go a third further. You are super flexible. You're like Play-Doh. You're like elastic. You're like a bendy doll. And you are going to go a whole third further. And now I want you to see all the muscles in your shoulder like spaghetti, cooked spaghetti. So believe your arm is super, super, super flexible. See it going further. And now tell it. You will go a third further. Don't move it yet. See it going further. Tell it to go further. Open your eyes. Lift up your left arm and just watch as it goes a whole third further when you do it again because you told it to. So now you have the proof. You can never again go, I'm rubbish at this. I can't do that. I knew I'd get that wrong. I knew I'd mess that up. We're going to do another one, so stay standing up. These are all fun. So we'll just do one more. It's nothing humiliating or embarrassing. It's all cool. Just put your hands by your side and put your feet together and close your eyes. Just keep your eyes closed. And I want you to imagine right in front of your chin is the most powerful magnet, an enormous magnet. It's so super powerful. It is pulling you forwards, forwards, forwards from the chin. Your whole body is leaning, tipping, hinging. Your chin is moving forwards. Your shoulders are moving forwards. You're bending from the waist. Your knees are locking. You really, really want to come up onto your tiptoes as that magnet pulls you and pulls you and pulls you. And now I want you to imagine it's changed position. It's gone right to the back of your head. And this time it's pulling you backwards, backwards, backwards. Your head is going backwards. Your shoulders are going backwards. Your knees are locking. Your toes are trying to come into the air as that magnet pulls you backwards, backwards, backwards. And finally, it's gone to the left of your left shoulder. Your whole body is pulled over to the left by this powerful, powerful magnetic force. You're like a weeping willow in the wind, and you are pulled over to the left more and more and more. And now just open your eyes and take a seat. Because there's no magnet. That's your mind, how powerful your mind is. I would really love it if they teach this stuff in school, because once you know how powerful your mind is, now it's your fault. Before you can say, I didn't know better, it's not my fault, I describe myself as an idiot. Now you know better, and it is your fault. So you're not allowed to do that anymore. No more diminishing yourself. So let's just do one more. You can all see that lemon, can't you? Put your hand in front of your mouth, just like that. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you're holding half of a big, fat, juicy lemon. It smells like the most best lemon smell ever. You can feel that great lemony, waxy thing, and you can inhale it, and you can really feel this juicy lemon. Now open your mouth and cram that lemon in there. Shove it in and start sucking it and biting it and chewing it, and just go to work on that lemon. And of course, what's going to happen, or what's happening, is that your mouth is filling up with saliva right now to a thought. And open your eyes. Thoughts are things. Whatever you think, your body agrees. The mind says yes, the body says yes. It doesn't really work the other way around. So you've got to say yes to better stuff. So how many of you do this? I just got a new PA. She's amazing. But every time she said, oh, my God, I wanted to die when I got the job with you. Oh, this boy just asked me out. I want to die. And I'm like, I don't think that is going to work out until you stop using that word. So who says it's hell in Tesco's? It's a nightmare on the M25. My commute is killing me. Put your hand up if you use any of those words or ever have in your lifetime. Sure. And you have to change that and just go, well, it's a challenge in the traffic. It's a little bit boring being in Tesco's, but it's not hell, because you respond to the picture. So let's go straight on to step 2, because it figures in very well. The first thing about your brain does exactly what it thinks you want it to do, what it thinks is in your best interest, and what you told it years and years ago. And it's up to you to change that and go, yeah, you know, I didn't want to draw attention to myself when I was 12, but now I'm like 52 and I really want to draw attention to myself. I want to have a great business. I want to ask for a pay rise. I deserve it. I'm worth it. I matter. I'm significant. Because the second thing about the brain is, and this is really interesting, it responds to 2 things. Only 2 things, there's nothing else. It responds to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. So a patient rang me up last year and went, could you help me? I can't merge. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I can't merge. I can't merge because I've got these companies all over England. I have to drive from London to Manchester, Edinburgh. And I have to go on all the A roads, B roads, because I can't merge on a motorway. But now I've got to give people lifts, and I can't tell them I can't merge. I'm like, oh, come in, you'll be merging in 24 hours, it's fine. But as it happened, I had to drive to Manchester with my husband, and we were driving back really early in the morning. It was still dark, and it was raining really badly, and I had to overtake a juggernaut. And I was thinking about my client, thinking, wow, what that must be like not to merge. And as I thought about it, I thought, oh, my God, I can't merge. I'm halfway past this lorry, and I have forgotten how to merge because I'm thinking his thoughts and seeing his images, and I had to very quickly stop and go, come on, you know how to merge. You put your foot down, you follow the curve of the road, and you say, I can do it. And then I got back into the inside lane, and I thought, I could wait. My husband would say, baby, you've got to drive now because I can't merge. But I thought, this is silly. Of course I can merge. But, you know, when you take on someone else's words and thoughts, you start to feel like them. So I'm flying to Spain to see a client, and I'm in the queue to get on the plane, and this woman is crying hysterically. Her husband's begging and pleading, come on, babe, get on the plane. They're gonna, and the staff are going, well, she's not getting on the plane, and we're taking off her luggage because she's not getting on the plane like that. And I'm like, oh, no, it's going to be a disaster. I'll help her out. I would have helped her. And I said, listen, what is the matter? She said, I can't get on the plane. I'm like, why not? And she went, well, look at it. That looks like a flying coffin. And I'm scared that if I get on, I'll never get off. And I'm like, oh, right. Well, you know, that would make anyone scared, calling a plane a flying coffin. You could call it a flying sofa, maybe. But flying coffin, that's not a great word. And so I asked her a few questions and said, you know, what did you do yesterday? And she looked at me. I said, I know what you did. She said, well, I said, you did all your laundry, didn't you? She went, how did you know? And I said, because people who think they're going to die tidy up their house. She goes, yes, I always do that before I go on a plane, and then I usually can't get on it. I said, look, you know what? You don't even have a fear of flying. You have a fear of not being in control, but I'm going to fix it. So I was telling her this story that I took my daughter to Disneyland, and I thought we were going on a little ride that went like that, and it actually went like that and like that, and my brain was being thrown around my skull. My daughter was screaming because she hated it, and I thought, well, I could scream too, but that's not going to help her. So I started going, oh, yay, this is fantastic. I love this. This is amazing. I really didn't. I can't tell you how much I didn't, but it confused my brain, and then it confused her brain, and she was going, yay, I like it too. And when we got back, she said, did you like that, Mummy? I'm like, no. But I wanted to confuse myself. She goes, oh, Mummy, you confused me because I thought you loved it. So I'm telling this woman this story going, okay, we're going to get on the plane. I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to pretend we're in Disneyland. We're going to go, I love this as the plane takes off. And we're going to go, yay, this is great. So I explained her a lot of things. We got on the plane. I held her hand. And as it took off, she looked at me and went, oh, my God, this is like... why is it this easy? I'm like, because it is this easy. Your brain responds to two things, the pictures you make and the words. And when you go, yay, this is fantastic, you have a different reaction. And she said, so should I lie to myself? I'm like, absolutely, all the time, 100%. You should lie to yourself and lie because, you know, we think we're so smart. We think we've evolved. But, you know, when you go up to the top of the shard, I went up to the top of the shard, I went to the edge, and I had to do that and walk around it. And I wasn't remotely scared, but my body was going, get away from the edge, because its job is to move you away from pain. So you respond to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. So here's a thought. Anyone here not having the most amazing success at being on a healthy diet? Anyone failing to avoid pizza and chocolate and ice cream and Ben & Jerry's and not finding themselves going for a run at 6 o'clock every morning? So this is what happens. You're in a restaurant. Let's pretend this is a menu, and you go, oh, my God, they have burger and fries and pizza. I love all of that. Oh, it's my favorite. An apple crumble with custard and double chocolate fudge ice cream. And you go, but I'm on a diet. I'm having the salad. And your brain's going, salad? No, no, no. You love all that stuff. Last time you ate it, you went, oh, my God, this is better than sex. It's so good. And now you're going to deprive yourself of it. And your brain's going, eat the pizza, eat the pizza. You go, no, I'm having salad. And your brain's going, salad? When did that ever give you intense pleasure? Don't be silly, eat the pizza. So you go, okay, now you think, now I feel so bad I ate the pizza. Your brain's like, eat more. That's why it's called comfort food. Now I've eaten more pizza. I feel bad. Your brain goes, eat some ice cream, have a beer. So this is the wrong way to go. I love chocolate. I'm never having it again. All my favorite things I'm giving up for you. I'm never eating ice cream again. I love it. It's yummy. I can't have it. And it doesn't help with what they call it divine and love and celebration and hero. So the way to do it is to go, oh, look, they have pizza. Yeah, I like that. But you know what? I like being a size 10 way more. I like fitting into my jeans way more. And there's pizza. I can have that when I'm 96. Right now, I want to look good in my clothes, and maybe out of them too. And your brain's like, you don't want the pizza? No, I don't want the pizza. I want to be really fit and healthy, and I've got pizza for the next 50 years. Right now, I'm choosing to look good in my clothes because I'm 95. I'm not going to look good in my underwear no matter how thin I am. That door is shut. And then I can have loads of pizza. And your brain's like, oh, yeah, I get that. I get that with your language. You've said you could have it. You're choosing not to. It makes you happy not to. It thrills you not to. It empowers you not to. And then all resistance goes away because you just change the pictures. Instead of thinking that cake looks nice, you go, yeah, it does look nice, but it doesn't look as nice as I look when I fit into my clothes. You can choose what everything means. You can choose when you get on a plane either of those pictures. You can choose what this one means. You know, is that really hell to be in a traffic jam? Well, hell is actually not having a car or any money to run one. Is it hell going shopping? No. When I was in Cuba, we lost all our luggage. We went to get more, and they went, we haven't got anything. We haven't got anything. We don't have any provisions in Cuba. There's nothing to buy. That's hell. Actually, I have to say it was quite liberating, really. But you can't go to shops and go, it's hell. It's a nightmare. It's a disaster, until you go somewhere else and see what it is really like. So let's come to the very last part of my talk, which is the thing that therapists find the hardest, making what is familiar unfamiliar and what is unfamiliar familiar. So your brain loves what is familiar. It really wants to go for what is familiar. And if you want success, you've got to make unfamiliar familiar. Really hard work, applying yourself, but most of all, extraordinary self-belief. That will take you further than anything. So whatever you haven't got that you like, make it familiar. And if there's things that you've got that you don't like, make them unfamiliar. If you lounge around every morning and a weekend and start to go to the gym, that becomes familiar. So I worked with a lot of women on shows, and we do makeovers and make them look really pretty, and the minute the cameras stop rolling, they take all the makeup off, put their tracksuit on, and go home. And I worked with one once, and she went, "Yeah, I don't know what you've done to me, but it's really changed. And I met this really nice guy, and he took me out, and he opened doors, he bought me dinner. I don't think I can see him again. He's too good for me." I said, no, it's unfamiliar. You know, your dad treated you like shit. Men that do that are familiar. And now here's a nice guy, and you're just going to sit and go, "I'm going to make this familiar, make this familiar, make this familiar, and make the other stuff unfamiliar." And of course it worked. And here's the thing that I find the most interesting. People who've never had praise, that is so unfair. If you say to them, "I love that top," they go, "I got it in Primark in the sale, it only cost £5. Or, "I love your talk." "Yeah, but I left out the best bit, and the other person was much, much better than me." So if you do that, here's a tip. Make praise familiar. Make self-praise really, really familiar. And make criticism unfamiliar. People can say things. You don't have to let it in. So I want you all to close your eyes. And, you know, I worked with this very interesting guy whose parents had abandoned him, and they were really horrible to him, and he'd become very, very successful. And they got him to buy them a lot of stuff, but they never praised him. And then his dad died without ever telling him he was worth a bean. And one day I said to him, "You know you're a good son." I put my hand on his shoulder. He sobbed uncontrollably for 10 minutes. And I had to say, "Look, let this in. You're a good son. Your dad's not going to tell you, but I will." So I want you all to think about, what is the one thing you would have loved to have heard? We all want the same stuff. "You're a great kid. How lucky am I that you're my kid? How lucky am I to be married to you, dating you, living with you? You're a great employee. You're great at your job." You know what you need to hear. I don't have to tell you. Close your eyes. Think of what you most wanted to hear now or 30 years ago, and say it to yourself now. "I am," you can do it in your head or out loud. No one's listening. Just say it right now. "I'm a good person. I'm smart. I matter. I'm successful. I'm significant." And just say it over and over and over again, because you're going to make that so familiar that the old voice is unfamiliar. And here's a great thing to end on. Studies have shown over and over again that depression is usually caused by harsh, hurtful, critical words that you say to yourself over and over again. Make that unfamiliar. Tell your brain what you want. Take responsibility for the words and pictures you use. Make great stuff familiar, negative stuff unfamiliar. I promise you can have whatever you like. RTT is way more than therapy, and I don't even call it hypnosis. In fact, I call it skipnosis, because I want to skip all that rubbish and go straight to what works. And I've been working with a lot of doctors and a lot of scientists, because what I do is actually called practical neuroscience. It's neuroplasticity. It's a way of getting the brain neurons to change. It's a way of getting the neural pathways that go, "I'm not good enough and I'm not smart enough," to go, "Oh, I'm amazing." It's actually a way of falling in love with yourself. And so there's a certain way to get neurons to change. There's many ways, but one of the ways is to put people in a particular state of hypnosis or a state of meditation, and then to use specific phrases over and over again, specific patterns, and to use a very, very commanding voice. And that combination is proved to make changes, so much so that I was training a doctor recently who went home and shut down her entire practice and said, "I just want to do this. This is amazing. This is changing my clients in an hour. I no longer have to give them prescriptions." And she's just written a book about it. But at the same time, I'm working every month with suicidal teenagers, anorexic children. In the last 10 years, I'm seeing children of 8 with anorexia. It's extraordinary. Children of 10 with depression. Children of 11 who say, "I want to kill myself because I don't feel I belong to anyone."
And all I can ever do, and all you actually need to do with children like that, is go, look, darling, here's the thing. You don't have a dad, or at least have a dad worth having. I don't actually say that, but I think it. And, you know, that's a horrible thing. You're going to go through life without a dad. And here's what you've got to do. You've got to be a parent to yourself. You don't have friends. You have got to be your own best friend. And I take them through this technique. And it really is about how to fall in love with yourself, how to be your own healer, how to be your own therapist. So I'm going to show you quickly how to put yourself into a state of guided meditation. So all you need to do, if you just look at me for a minute, you're going to roll your eyes up, keep them up, and close the lids down. If you can do that and you can feel a fluttering, you're going to find this phenomenal. So let's all practice. Look up. As if you're looking into your eyebrows or your forehead, keep your eyeballs up. And keeping your eyeballs up, close the lids down. And now let's all do that together. Just look up. Keep your eyeballs up. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And just one more time, keep your eyeballs up. But this time, as you exhale, keeping your eyeballs up, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as your eyelids shut down, you might feel a bit of fluttering going on. That's called REM. It's a sign that you're really suggestible, and that's fabulous. So I want you to drop your chin now so you really feel that same looking down feeling that you might get as you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. You're looking down 10 steps, and as I count, just going to see your feet and hear your feet and feel your feet treading each step. You're moving on to step 10, going deeper with every number I count. You're taking step 9. You're going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 8, just going deeper with every heartbeat. You're taking step 7, going deeper with every breath you take. You're taking step 4, just going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 5, you're halfway down, going even deeper still. You're taking step 4 and 3, drifting way down deep. You're taking step 2, going deeper with every sound you hear. And every sound and noise and movement around you is taking you deeper, deeper, and deeper. And now you're taking step 1, just go deeper. Just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper and deeper. It just means you're going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're going deeper into your own internal state. And as you go deeper, I want you to start thinking about the home you lived between the age of 2 and 10. And if you lived in many homes, it doesn't matter. Your brilliant mind, your genius mind is already filling up your head with a home you lived in between the age of 2 and 10, maybe 1 and 10. It's not that important, but pre-10, you're now thinking about a home you lived in when you were a little kid and you were forming beliefs, making decisions, coming to conclusions. For many of you, those conclusions have hurt you. So like a heat-seeking missile, you are now being pulled back to that home. You are being drawn back, pulled back, taken back. You are traveling back in time to that early childhood home. And there you are right now. You're standing outside the front door. And you're just about to go into that home, go through that door like a heat-seeking missile. You are drawn to the bedroom you slept in as a child. And now you're standing outside that bedroom door. Reach out your hand, put it on the door handle. You're about to go into that room and meet a little kid, you as a child. A sweet little kid, but it's got some really interesting, incorrect beliefs already. And as you go in that room, that child in the room knows that you are them all grown up, and you know this is you as a child, and you and this child have a complete, perfect, wonderful, affinity with each other, a total understanding. Open the door. Go into the room. Sitting on the bed as a little kid, you as a child. A sweet little kid, but a kind of confused child who really making great sense of what is going on around them. And I want you to sit down next to that child. And you can hold that child in your arms. You can hold their hand. And I want you to ask them a question. Are you happy or unhappy? The answer is going to come up like that, yes or no. Whatever the answer is, here's the next question. This is rather like typing questions into Google. You don't need to process this through your intellect. Ask the question. The answer will come straight up from your subconscious, what I call lose your mind, come to your senses. What makes you unhappy? What is it that mommy does or doesn't do that makes you unhappy? What is it that other people do or don't do that make you unhappy? Now I want you to ask that child a question. The answer will come. Why don't you think you're enough? What is it that's going on in your life that allows you to feel that you are not enough? Why do you feel that what you want isn't available to you and probably never will be? Why do you believe that what you want is not available to you? And finally, why do you think you're different? So I'm going to count backwards now, and you're going to go right back to an early scene that is all to do with why you believe at any level at all, that you're not enough. So on the count of 5, you are drifting back, traveling back, moving back, going way back, further back, all the way back to a scene, place, event, time that is all to do with why you believe that you're not enough. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter on the count of 4, 3, 2, 1 years. Months, weeks are peeling away from your body as you go back to a scene that is why you believe you're not enough. Just be there. And as I click my fingers, it's rather like you switching on your television, opening up your laptop. A scene is filling the screen. And this scene where you are now, is it daytime or is it nighttime? Are you inside or outside? How old are you about? And here's the only question that matters. What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? I want you to feel what you felt then. I want you to see what you saw then. I want you to hear what you heard then. As I click my fingers, your ears are wide open. You can hear something being said to you that is exactly connected to why you've gone through life believing that you're not quite enough, that you're less than someone else. On the count of 1, 2, and 3, your ears are wide open, and you can hear something being said to you, over you, around you, certainly within your hearing, and that something is all to do with why you have bought into I'm not enough, which is not true, but we have many, many beliefs that are not true. So stay in that scene for a minute. You only need a minute. Look at that scene. Look at what's going on. Feel it like it happened yesterday. And now let's go on to the second scene, which is all to do with why you believe that what you want isn't available to you. And please don't worry about what comes up. It may seem random, but you're going to see in a minute how it all works exactly the way it's meant to work. So on the count of 5, you're going back to another scene, a vivid, vital, crucial, absolutely significant scene that is all to do with how you bought into what I want is not available to me. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You are drifting right back to a vivid, vital, crucial scene that is the beginning of this incorrect belief: what I want isn't available. I want it, I can't get it. Just be there. And again, it's rather like switching on your computer. A picture is warming up, coming into focus, filling up your mind. This scene where you are now, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? How old are you about? And the only question that matters: what are you doing, seeing, feeling? What are you experiencing? Be in that scene. See what you saw then. Hear what you heard then. Feel what you feel then. Even experience what you experience then. And again, on the count of 1, 2, and 3, your ears are open. You can hear something being said to you, over you, around you, about. It's not about. Maybe you're seeing a mother who just can never quite get enough money to pay the bills. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe no matter how hard you work, the teacher never notices you. No matter what effort you put in, you're never the favorite kid at home or at school. Look at this scene, because this scene is a key to why you feel that what you want isn't available to you. Look at that scene. Just put it to one side. It's almost like you're looking at a snapshot. You've got a DVD now, and you're going to put that to one side with the first, and I'll go on to the last one. Why you believe that you're different and how that stops you connecting. So just one more time. On the count of 5, you are drifting back to a vivid, vital, crucial, significant scene that is all to do with you perceiving, feeling, believing that you are somehow different. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You are drifting right back right now. Just be there. And one more time, this scene where you are now. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you on your own or is anybody with you? What are you doing? Seeing, feeling, and experiencing. Just stay in that scene as I click my fingers on the count of 1, 2, and 3. Your ears are open. And you can hear exactly what you heard then. What it was that someone said about you or to you or in your presence that made you feel that you're just a little bit different, or maybe a lot different, that stopped you having the connection that is your birthright. So I want you to look at each of those scenes. I want you to be like a detective now. Look at those 3 scenes, the first one, the second one, the third one. It doesn't matter if they don't even make complete sense. I want you to look at the scenes, and I want you to go back to scene 1. And remember what I said in the beginning: a commanding voice, a set of commanding repetitive words in a particular brainwave changes people. I do this with all my clients. It is so transformational. I want you to go back to scene 1, and I need you to hear you say out loud, "That's not me." I need to hear it right now from all of you. That's not me. That's not me. And now you're going to finish a sentence. That's not me because. And I want you to put an ending on that I can hear. That's not me because. All of you do this. Great girl in the front row. We're all the same. I want you to go, "That's not me because," and then I want you to go, "And that will never be me because," and "That cannot be me because." And please remember, when you do this, you're changing some neural pathways. So let's do it together. Ready, steady. That's not me because. Finish the ending. And that will never be me because. And that cannot be me ever again for the rest of my life because. Start and finish that sentence. Now let's go to scene 2. You remember, it's not me. This is so powerful. I do it with all my clients. They love it because it's breaking a pattern. It's interrupting a belief. And it's so easy, but oh boy, is it powerful. So go to scene 2, where you acquire these beliefs that what you want just won't be available to you. You might want love, but you're not going to get it. You want success, you don't know how to do that. You want to be free of illnesses, but your whole family's ill. And you bought into, I want it, but I can't have it. That's not true. So I want you to go, that's not me.
That's not me.
Because. Tell me why it's not you. I want to hear you. Tell me why that's not you. That will never be me because. Tell me why that will never be you again because. That cannot be me ever again because. And now let's go to the last one. I'm different, and that means I can never really connect. I can try, I can hope, but I just don't connect properly because inside I think I'm different. I want you to say, that's not me.
That's not me.
That little kid who felt different, that's not me. It's not me because. It will never be me because. That cannot be me for the rest of my life because. Now I want you to be in that room with that little kid on the bed. I want you to put your arms around that child. Take them by the hand, and I want you to just morph them to wherever you live today. Wherever your apartment is in the world, or your home, or your house, I want you to take that child by the hand, and I want you to move them to where you live now. I want you to open the front door. I want you to go in that door, and I want you to say to that child, you live in my world. And this is a better place. This is a safer place. This is a massive upgrade. I'm upgrading you into this wonderful world. And it's so much better than the other one. And it's going to get even better still. And I want you to take that child through your living room, and I want you to see that you might have Alexa and Sonos and cable TV. You probably have an iPhone 7 and a MacBook Air, none of which you had when you were 7. No one in this room had Alexa 20 years ago. No one had an iPhone 8 20 years ago, and yet we have this belief, I can't have it. I didn't have it then. I didn't have love, so I can't have love. I didn't have attention. I never felt important. I was never significant. I can't have it now. And yet, you are all upgrading your software every day, every month. What about the software in your head? When do you upgrade that? You get all these things, all these upgrades, and yet we carry on with the same old software, this outdated wiring. So go through your living room. Show that little kid your Sonos, your Alexa, your Spotify, your iPhone. Yes, they're things, but you went out and got them. And if you went out and got those, you can go out and get love and success and health and everything else. Open your phone. Show them all the people in your life that like you, that want to hang out with you, that want to hear from you. And when you finish going around your living room going, wow, clearly I'm not 4 because I got my own cable and I can stay up all night if I want, watching TV. And clearly I'm not 2 because I'm operating this Apple Air and I love it. Go into your bedroom and I want you to see the bed you sleep in. And maybe you sleep with this person that loves you. Maybe you have kids that come in the morning and love you. And if you don't have that yet, you will. Open the closet And see that you're not wearing hand-me-downs or second-hand clothes, or when everyone else has got Air Nikes, yours come from Target. No, because it's all available. Go into your kitchen, open all the cupboards, and remember that you don't have to eat cheap food, junk food, because you're not that child. So I want you to look at the difference. Open your cupboard, open your fridge, open your freezer, open your wallet. And there's a credit card, which you did not have when you were 4. Look out the window at your car. And every day when you're driving a car, I want you to go, wow, look at this. I'm not 4 because I'm driving a car to the store. I'm buying food with my credit card. I'm going out with my friends. I'm with someone that loves me because I'm not that child. So I want you to upgrade that child right now. And every day for the next few days, actually being in this room with these amazing people that all love you and support you. No one here is mentally 3 years old. And if you were, we'd still love you and support you, because that's what Mind Valley is all about. So I want you to see that you are not that child, not even in your dreams. And when you upgrade that child into your current life, you can never go back, not even in your daydreams. So now I want you to hold that child in your arms. Put your arms around yourself. I want you to imagine that child is just a tiny little kid depending on you. So I need to see you all with your arms around yourself. We're all going to do this because this is so powerful. And I want you to say to that child, I'm becoming a loving parent to you now. Say it out loud if you want to. No one in the world can play this role like I can. I love you exactly the way you are. I love you completely and unconditionally. I will always have time for you. You and I have balance now. There's nothing we can't do. And I want you to think about what you really, really wanted to hear when you were a kid. We all want to hear the same thing. No one wants to hear, oh, you're going to be a great Beverly Hills dentist when you're 30. We want to hear, I love you. I'm proud of you. How lucky am I that you're my kid? So whatever you wanted to hear, you're about to fill in the blanks. But I want you to start by saying, I love you. How lucky am I to be your parent? You're an amazing child. I love you so much. And when you grow up, you're going to find so many people that love you because you're so lovable. I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. You're smart. You're wonderful. You're great company. You're the best kid any parent could have had. And I want you to add anything. You know better than me what you wanted your mother or father to say. Say it now. Add it in. Come on, say something. You all have got one thing. Because here's the thing. Criticism withers people. And praise builds them up like nothing else. So the final thing we're going to do today is the praise you never had. The person you're still waiting, the teacher at school that you're still waiting to tell you that you're phenomenal, the difficult grandma that you're still waiting for her to notice that there's something about you. So I want you to think about what you most wanted to hear. Think about it now. What are the words you've been waiting all your life? What are you trying to get your boss or your partner or your friends or your parents to still tell you? You know what it is. What are you still needing to hear? I want you to say it out loud right now. You are amazing. You're my favorite. Keep going. I want you to say you're gifted. You have a unique skill. You have a unique talent. There's something in front of you that can be done better by you than by anyone. There's a loving relationship in front of you that you will enjoy better than anyone else. There's a stellar career that you're going to excel at. So just take another minute and please take this opportunity to give yourself the praise you've been waiting for your whole life, knowing that nothing will boost your self-esteem, or knowing that nothing is as important as the words you say to yourself. And please believe one thing, your mind couldn't care less what you tell it. It doesn't care if it's right or wrong. It believes everything you say. So now that you know that, tell it something amazing about you. Go on right now, I'm waiting. Give yourself the praise you've been waiting for. So let me help you out a bit. Let's do this together. I want you to say, I am enough.
I am enough.
I'm always enough.
I'm always enough.
I always will be enough.
I always will be enough.
And because I know it, everyone around me knows it too. I'm so lovable. I couldn't be more lovable. I'm lovable because I'm me. I matter. I'm significant. I have a purpose. I'm here for a reason. There's something on the planet I'm going to do better than anyone else. I'm not my past. I'm not my weight. I'm not my shape. I'm not my size. I'm not my salary. I'm not my apartment. I'm not my job description. What I am is lovable and enough. And that's never going to change. So take a few minutes, and I want you to feel it like lotion on chapped skin. Let that sink in, because that is the truth about you. You are lovable. You're enough. You matter. You're significant. There's no one else in the world exactly like you, because nature doesn't do that. People go, I've got 2 kids, they're different. It's like, well, that is the point. They're supposed to be the same, because why bother to give you 2 that are identical? Even twins aren't identical. Even identical twins are not identical. So take a few minutes and just let that sink in. Let it in. The most powerful words are let go. Let go of the old stuff and let the new stuff in. And of course, as you let this in, you're making new neural pathways. As you let the new stuff in, the old stuff goes. It's like Giga. Garbage in, good stuff in, garbage out. So as you let the good stuff in, you have to let the garbage out. So take a few minutes, and when you're ready, I want you to just let yourself come back to your full awareness. Remembering these things you can do. It's not me. Upgrading the child. Becoming a loving parent yourself. It's never too late, ever, to be the parent you wanted to have. It's never too late to be your own best friend. So take a minute and just open up your eyes and come back in the room, because although you've returned, you can't go back. Once you do this powerful transforming work, you can't go back. So I've taken you through some of this, the only 3 things that are wrong with you. Of course, when you take RTT for me, every model is longer. Every model explains stuff. Every model has case histories and things, so you really get it. Oh, there's only 3 things wrong with you, but also only 3 things wrong with everyone else. I now understand my difficult kid, my cranky boss, my withholding parent. I know what's wrong with them. Upgrading the child, I invented upgrading the child. I created it for clients that didn't do well in regression. It's so powerful. I now do it with, even when they regress like a dream, I still add in upgrading the child because the results are so profound. the only way your mind works. We haven't covered that today, but it's very interesting. When you work out, there's 3 things to know about your mind. Role, function, purpose. That's profound. I was working recently with a child who had chronic eczema. And with adults, in RTT, you're going to learn the role, function, purpose, and indeed intention of any illness, because we go to doctors and go, I just want to be thin. Can you give me some pills and have liposuction? But if there's an intention, as long as you're heavy, guys don't look at you funny like they did when you were 10 and your mum's boyfriend lusted after you. So when there's a role, function, purpose of an illness, you're not going to get rid of it with drugs or even surgery. How you get rid of it is understanding why it's there. And so recently I was working with this little kid of 5 who had chronic eczema. I said, you know, darling, if the eczema was your friend, if it wanted to help you, and he said, without skipping a beat, because why is it there? He said, when I stand like that and Mummy puts on the cream and the wet bandages, she doesn't put any cream on that baby. And there you have it, a little child of 5 who kept thinking, I want Mummy to put cream on me. I want Mummy to rub cream into me like with that baby. The mind's like, that's what you want? My job, my number 1 job as your mind is to go ahead and get what you want. You want to be covered in cream, have an eczema, job done. Now I've got a little kid of 5 with vascular migraines where he practically passes out. That's really unusual. Same thing to him, darling. You know, your mind wants to be your friend. If the migraines were your friend, he said, when Mummy and Daddy fight and I get a migraine, we turn off all the lights and we sit in the dark and the quiet until it goes away, because that child had said, I need Mummy and Daddy to stop fighting. I need to find a way. Just like many kids go, I don't want my uncle to look at me funny like that. I don't want anyone to look at my body. And the mind goes, I'll disguise it. I'll shield you. I'll hide you. Or you can't cope with the pressure. I was going to go recently, had to have 41 injections in her head. 41 injections because of migraines. When I asked her the role, she said, nothing I do will ever satisfy my dad. As long as I'm sick, he doesn't expect anything of me. I hear many people say, oh, you know, I'm so worried, I'm always getting sick. My kid comes home with a bug and I get it. My grandchildren always have colds and I pick them up. And that's a belief. And you know what your immune system loves? It loves you to be positive and focused with a powerful belief that I am super well. And what the immune system really does not like is stress, panic, anxiety. You know, your thoughts are things. Thoughts become real. Every thought you think has a physical reaction and an emotional response. So here's an example. I could lie next to my husband in bed. He could be streaming with cold and I could go, oh, you're going to make me ill now. You just left that tissue there and don't sneeze or I'm bound to get sick. Or I could say, you know, I have such a great immune system. My immune system is so great that I can be around him and I'm going to be great, because I believe that to get sick, you have to be physically, mentally, and emotionally out. And when you're saying, oh, I'm going to get sick now, I'm worried about getting sick, I hope I don't get a cold, I'm sure I'm going to get a cold, I always get colds in the winter. The minute the heating comes on, I get my sinus headaches. You are emotionally out because you're expecting it. And here's another rule of the mind. What we expect tends to be realized. So your immune system reacts very badly to stress, worry, panic, and anxiety. It depresses your immune system. What makes you have a strong immune system is passionate beliefs, powerful beliefs, the way you dialogue with yourself. Oh, I'll get sick if I eat that. Oh, you know, I just ate some chicken at the end. I noticed it was a bit undercooked. Now I'm going to get sick. Or you could say, sick? I have a great immune system. I never get sick. I remember once somebody picking something up off the floor and eating it, and I looked at them and went, hey, that's what my immune system is for. And I travel a lot. I'm always going through time zones. I don't get sick and I don't get jet lag because I tell my immune system, hey, you can respond. I tell everyone when I sleep on the plane, wherever I arrive, I sleep, I adapt really easily, and I do, but I tell myself that. I program my mind, condition my mind, dialogue with my mind by saying, oh, I've just adapted, I slept on the plane, I feel great, I'll sleep tonight. I don't have to wash everything I eat because I have a great immune system. And you may say, well, I think you're faking it, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because here's something that will really resonate when you let it in. Your mind doesn't know, and it doesn't even care if what you tell it is good or bad, true or false, useful, useless, helpful, or harmful. It lets it in. That's going to make me sick. That's going to exhaust me. I can't cope with that. And you just have to flip over the words. Every time you say something negative, I'm chronically tired. Well, I'm a little tired. I've got the flu. I've got some aches and pains, but you know, I'm going to hydrate and sleep and I'll be great. And of course, occasionally I get a little something and I tell my body, I'm going to knock this out of my system in a day. I'm going to be over this in a day. I'm going to sleep and hydrate and I will be just fine. So the most important thing to boost your immunity, to give you a strong, powerful, reliable immune system, is to think different thoughts and speak different words. If you knew that every word you speak is a blueprint that your mind, body, and psyche must work to make real, you wouldn't say, well, my kid picks up everything going at school and I pick it up too, or it's flu season, it's cold season. Even when you go to the store and stock up on cold medicine, you're kind of expecting to get sick. Don't do that. By all means, have a little something in your house, but don't plan to be sick. Don't plan it. So use powerful language. My immune system is strong. My immune system is powerful. I have fantastic immunity, a great immune system, because your immune system is your first line of defense. Your immune system does a phenomenal job of keeping you well. And if you believe in it and think great thoughts and fill up your mind with images of your immune system doing a phenomenal job every day, it will do a phenomenal job. What else can you do to help your immune system? Well, here's something people don't seem to know. Every time you eat sugar, it depresses your immune system for 3 hours. And when you're feeling a little off color and you eat candy and chocolate and hot chocolate to give you energy, it actually makes you worse. You are what you eat. If you want to have a great immune system, you need to eat a rainbow diet of fruits and vegetables. You need to eat green vegetables. You need to eat fruits. You need to drink water. So the more candy you eat, the more junk food you eat, your body has to process that. Everything has to go through your immune system. Even when you spray yourself with perfume, that too must go through your immune system. So eat a better diet, fill up your plate with vegetables, and not just the same thing, carrots and peas. Have purple vegetables, green vegetables, orange vegetables, that rainbow diet. Vegetables and fruits, and particularly the skin, have all kinds of compounds that will help your immune system. So eat better, look at what you're eating, buy ingredients, not food. Don't buy TV dinners and processed food and ready food, because that's not real food. Buy ingredients, make real food. Hydrate. People just don't drink water. Oh, it's boring, I don't like water. I don't love water, but my body loves it. And to this day, I have to make myself drink water, especially in the winter. But I make myself drink water because my body is 90% water. If I don't drink water, I feel dehydrated. That also depresses my immune system. So what you think, what you eat, how you hydrate. And here's the third thing about your immune system: how much do you sleep? Do you go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, looking at your phone, stimulating your mind, have to wake up at 7 and never have enough sleep? You need to go to bed before
midnight as often as you can. You need proper deep sleep. You need to switch the television off and really rest, because your immune system loves rest. People who meditate say, you know, since I meditated, all those aches and pains, the headaches, the irritable bowel, they seem to have gone away. It's partly because when you meditate, you relax, you empty your mind, but also meditation makes you think about taking care of yourself. You have one body. It has to last you a long time. And I know you want your body to look after you. Of course we do. We all want our body to go, hey body, look after me, do a great job. But your body can't look after you. If you don't look after it, it's a win-win. When you can do just a few really good things for your body, meditate, take yourself to bed before midnight, sleep for 8 hours and sleep a deep sleep. Don't have your phone vibrating on the bedside table next to you. That should be 7 feet away from you because of the EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies. Sleep deeply, eat better, hydrate, think better thoughts. If you just do those 3 things for your body will do so many things back for you. Your body is so forgiving. Your liver, your arteries will all forgive you for treating your body badly when you start to treat it well. And if you say, well, you know, I don't even believe that stuff, surely your immune system is fixed. Well, no, it's not fixed. There were some studies many years ago where they gave people who were madly in love tiny dose of poison, and it didn't affect them, because when you're in love, you're going, oh, I love you, I love everything, you're so great, I just ring your machine just to hear your voice, I look at your picture, you're the best thing ever. When you hear those kind of words, your immune system is massively boosted. Praise, recognition, admiration, self-praise will boost your immune system massively. And then they gave a fraction of the poison they gave to the lovers to people who were sad and negative and depressed and miserable and pessimistic, and they reacted to that poison immediately. So people say, you know, I fell in love, and what the amazing thing, my irritable bowel went away. I stopped getting headaches, my eczema cleared up, came back later, but for the first 6 months it was gone. And that's because when you're in love, that beginning of being in love, your immune system is boosted by the great thoughts you think. Orgasm boosts your immune system massively. Deep, rhythmic breathing boosts your immune system. So don't let anyone tell you that your immune system is fixed and you don't have any power to change it. You have massive, incredible, phenomenal power to have a strong immune system. Believe that you can impact and influence your immune system, and you certainly will. Believe that, and then take some actions. Eat the right foods, take some supplements, take B vitamins, D vitamins that are really good for your lungs. Take zinc in the winter, take vitamin C, eat better, sleep better, hydrate better. More than anything, think better thoughts, because every thought you think has a physical reaction and an emotional response. What you expect tends to be realized. These are rules of your mind. Use those rules. Think better thoughts, expect great health, and you know what? You'll very, very likely get just that. So what are the symptoms of mental exhaustion? Well, there are many. We feel sapped of energy. We feel kind of inert, apathetic. We feel tired all the time. Even when we wake up in the morning, we feel tired. After a meal, we still think, well, I just have no energy. The things that would normally be signs of, oh, I'm rested, I've had a night's sleep, I've got energy because I've just eaten some really healthy foods, they're not there. We feel tired all the time. We feel incredibly unproductive. We feel like we're in a fog. We can spend ages reading the same piece of paperwork and just nothing is going in. We can feel incredibly emotional, and that can come out as sadness, being very teary, can be angry, we can be completely irrational, losing it like that, and really not in control of our emotions very well at all. We can feel completely detached from other people, from reality, the things that gave us joy. It just isn't working. And there are many other symptoms too. And of course, one of those symptoms on their own does not mean you're suffering from mental exhaustion. But if you have several of them, more than 4, then you probably are suffering with mental exhaustion. You can even go into burnout, and that's not a place you want to go. So that's what the symptoms are. But what causes mental exhaustion? Well, it's caused by our modern day issues. Stress is a huge cause of mental exhaustion. I'm always stressed. I'm always thinking of what else I've got to do. I wake up and my mind is running. I go to bed, it's still running. I can't relax because I'm stressed. I've got stress. I'm in stress. I didn't even know what stress is. My doctor said, you've got stress. Now I know I've got stress, but what is stress? Well, it's really you're running on adrenaline. You're like the battery of your phone, but you're never recharging. If you took a phone, so I'll charge it for 5 minutes, and then use it for 2 hours, and then charge it again, that doesn't work. You are like a battery. You have to recharge yourself. But that's very hard when you're under pressure, tremendous pressure to get things done, when you're overworked, and when people are dependent on you to produce. Now, most people think of stress and overwork and pressure as something we get from our job, and that's very valid, but some people are like that at home. I work with women who choose to be at-home parents, but they are very stressed. The house has to be perfect, the kids have to be perfect. They're always worrying, always doing the what if, and always living in the future, thinking, I need to work towards a better future. Well, the future isn't here. You have to live in the right now. So it's the pressure you put upon yourself that causes stress. You may have a very demanding boss that says, deliver this and that, and I need it now. But when you take a deep breath and go, look, I work an 8-hour day. I love my job. This is what I can deliver in 8 hours. Unfortunately, you've given me 4 jobs that I just cannot complete. So you have to look at what's realistic. Do not overpromise and underdeliver, because that's what is causing your stress. You're giving yourself too much to do, not enough time, living on coffee, not having enough sleep. And these things make you even more stressed. So stress, your own internal pressure, the belief that you've got to deliver for everybody else what they require of you. I see many kids who are under mental pressure, mental exhaustion, because they believe, I've got to get straight A's. I need to do this for my parents. I see many athletes who are under that same mental exhaustion because I must deliver. I've got to get it right. I can't let people down. Everyone expects so much of me. And the pressure is overwhelming. And I know what that's like when people expect a lot from you. We all know what it's like. But the only person who can stop that is you. So how do you cure mental exhaustion? First of all, you need to take a reality check and be realistic. There are 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. What can I realistically do? You need to divide your day into work time and no work time. And if you have a demanding job, when you go home, you need to leave your work at home. You need to really be present with your children, with your partner, even with yourself. You need to switch off. You need to think, okay, when I come in from work, I take my work clothes off. Maybe I have a bath, a shower, a coffee, a phone call, but I'm doing something that separates work from home time. And even if you work from home, you still need to think, right, I'm going to switch the computer off and I'm going to put on the radio and I'm going to symbolize to myself, work is over. This is my time. Now, I've written books and I know what that's like to work all day and all night because of a deadline. And you may say, look, that all sounds great. I've got to start up my own business. I can't just switch off at 5 o'clock. I've got to work 16 hours a day for a while, and I understand that. And you know what? You can do anything if it has an end date. So if you are in that position of having to work 16 hours, you need to say, this has an ending. I'm doing this for 3 weeks. I'm doing this for a month. I'm doing this for 2 months, but it will end. We can cope with anything, even pain, when we know it has an end date. It's a bit like giving birth. This is not fun, but hey, I'm producing a baby. I'm running a marathon. Everything hurts, but I'm going to get to that finishing line. Mental exhaustion is its worst when you say things like, this is never going to end, this is going on forever, I'm drowning in stress, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you are in mental exhaustion, take a look at your language. Do you say things like, this is killing me, I'm dying under this workload, I am stressed out of my mind, I feel like I'm going insane with tiredness, I can't get on top of this. The minute I answer 10 emails, 102 more come in, and it's killing me. I'm at my maximum bandwidth, I'm running out of rope. You see, when you use those very descriptive words, they become a blueprint that unfortunately you start to work from. So you need to say something entirely different. There's a lot of work on here, but I'm going to get through this bit by bit. I have phenomenal coping skills. I can do this. I've got this. It won't be like this for long. For something to get you, to give you mental exhaustion, it has to be permanent, it has to be personal, and it has to be all-pervasive. That means it must go on all the time. And you have to say, right, you know, this workload is heavy and it's kind of all-consuming, but it's not permanent. I won't be working like this for the next 2 years. It's not personal. I chose it, or my boss gave me this work because he wanted me to do something amazing. And it's not all-pervasive. When I'm in the bath, when I'm having a lovely dinner, when I'm sleeping, when I'm having sex with someone, I'm not actually in this mental exhaustion. The problem is we say things like, this is consuming my life. This is happening all the time, 24 hours a day. You know, I meet clients who say, I've eaten 24 hours a day, and I go, really? Is that really true? Did you pee? Yes. Well, then you didn't eat in the toilet, did you? No. Did you sleep? Yeah, I did. So you didn't really eat 24 hours a day? No, but I feel like I did. But that's not the same. So listen to your language. Do you say, this is consuming me, this never ends, I can't see an end? Is that I'm working 24 hours a day, I'm going insane with tiredness, stress, fatigue. People want so much of me, I just can't deliver. Change that language. People want a lot of me, they expect a lot, and I can deliver. But I'm going to be realistic with what I can deliver. If I'm working for myself, I'll deliver more. But I can see the goal, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no matter how bad it is, I will take breaks. So when you're working on the computer and you're looking like that, you have to stop and look as far away as you can to rest your eyes. You must take breaks and go outside or just move around, because you need that. Because at school, of course, you have work, recess, because we all work better. We work, take a break, work, take a break. So do the things that are good for you. Work, take breaks. While you're working, say things like, wow, I'm making progress. I can see that I'm getting through this. I feel so good. I've completed that task. I'm making headway here. I feel really productive. Even if it isn't true, say the things that will help you, not hurt you. Gosh, I'm making a difference. I feel so good. I completed that task. I feel so great. I made a dent in that, and I'll make another dent, and I'm getting there, and I feel good. See the ending. You must be able to see the ending. We can cope with anything when we can see an ending. You know, I worked a lot with prisoners, and what was interesting is that the people on remand did worse than those who were sentenced. Those who were sentenced could see an ending. Waiting for the sentence was much, much worse. So our human nature says, if I can see an ending, I can cope. So you must decide, oh, I can see an ending, and you must decide to take downtime. You must take time to sleep. You must hydrate. You must eat well. You can't work and live on coffee and candy bars. You need to at least have some healthy food. I had an experience years ago. I was writing one of my first books. It was due to be submitted. I had to submit the whole book on the 31st of August. Suddenly my publisher said, actually, we're bringing it forwards. Can you submit it on August the 7th? It's like, wow, that's 3 weeks early. And I thought that was going to be really hard, and it was hard. I had to get up in the morning and write and write and write. And I would stop at about midnight or less and just sleep, work. But I could do it because it was 3 weeks, only 3 weeks. And I was living on bananas and smoothies, but still healthy food. I was so busy typing I didn't get to eat, but I ordered jars of protein powder and I'd whiz those up and put an avocado and a banana in it. And it was very important. I had to eat right, I had to hydrate, I had to sleep. When I finished writing, I took myself to bed. I didn't watch TV, I didn't read a magazine, but I kept all of the stuff I would normally read in a bag. I taped all my favorite shows. I was thinking, wow, in 3 weeks it's going to take a whole day. I'm going to read all my newspapers, watch all my shows, and that 3 weeks ended. I submitted it. I also realized that I could submit my manuscript on that day. There's no way my publisher could read it all, and I still had a few more days, and then I could say, oh, I sent you the wrong one. Here's the real one, because I could buy a little bit of extra time, not much, but enough. And when it was over, I felt so great. It's like running a marathon. You keep thinking, I'm going to feel so good when I accomplish this. I'm going to feel so great when I do this. If you run a marathon, you can only finish it by seeing the end, seeing the ticker tape, hearing the crowds cheer your name is how you complete a difficult task. You must see the ending. You must be your own cheerleader. Praise yourself. You're doing a great job. You're doing great here. You're making amazing headway. I'm really proud of you. So the cure is to praise yourself, to take breaks, to look after yourself, to care for yourself, to nurture yourself, build your praise muscle, see the end, because there is an end in sight. And do not compare yourself. Don't think, well, everyone else is doing better. How come other writers churn out a book, run 6 companies, go home and raise 3 kids and homeschool? Don't compare yourself. You are unique. You're doing it on your schedule. You do not need to compare yourself to anyone ever. Do it your way. It will absolutely work, but please don't go into burnout. There really is no need.
Everybody wants to be happy, and we're all looking to be happy. And we seem to have this weird belief that there's some destination we're going to get to one day called happiness, but there's no destination called happiness. There's no terminal you're ever going to arrive at in your life called this is the happy place. If you want to be happy, and why wouldn't you want to be happy? Here's the way to be happy. You got to be happy right now. I see so many people who go, I'll be happy when my kid can walk, when my kid can feed themselves. I'll be happy when my kid's gone to school. I'll be happy when. And if you buy into that, I'll be happy when, you're never happy, because when never comes. I'll be happy when I'm married, I'm single. If I could find a great person, I'll be happy. And then you know what you do? You just swap all the problems of being single to having to compromise with somebody else, because you have this belief, I'll be happy when. So if you want to be happy, here's how to be happy. Decide to be happy right now. Don't do that. I'll be happy when I get to my holiday. I'm super stressed at the airport. I'm having a manic moment. But when I get there, I'll be happy. Because now you've told your mind that happiness is somewhere you're going to. Tell your mind the truth. I am happy right now. I've decided to be happy in the moment. I'm choosing to be happy. You see, your mind is set up to do what you tell it. And every time you say to your mind, I'll be happy when, It believes that happiness is out there and you're going there, but you might never get there. When you go, I'm happy right now. I'm happy packing. I'm happy at the stress of the airport. I'm happy this minute. I am choosing to be happy. Then your mind understands the truth. Happiness is now. You're not going to happiness. You're not looking for happiness. And by the way, nobody else can make you happy, while an amazing partner, a great career, a wonderful kid will enhance your happiness. If you give that to someone else, my partner's going to make me happy. Having a baby is going to make me happy. Having a great job where I get recognized is going to make me happy. Getting praise is going to make me happy. Do you know what you're doing? You're giving someone else the responsibility to make you happy. And if you say to them, here you go, you make me happy, that will work for a while, but then, you know what you're giving them? You're giving them power to make you unhappy. I want a little baby to be happy, and I got it, but now that baby is a 14-year-old teenager that doesn't want to speak to me. People say, oh, you know, you make me feel amazing, and then the other side of that is you make me feel so angry and so lonely and so unimportant. Don't give your power to be happy to anyone else. It's up to you. And don't wait to be happy. Choose to be happy right now, in the moment. I mean, look at little children. The rain makes them happy. A puddle makes them happy. Everything makes them happy because they live in the moment. Happiness is an inside job. Go inside you, live in the moment. I promise you, if you make a decision, I'm going to be happy right now, no matter what, and everything I do, you'll train your mind to be happy. And here's another great thing that I find really works to be happy. When you wake up in the morning, start going, wow, this tea is amazing. This coffee is sensational. I love the smell of this shower gel. I love the sheets. I love waking up. I had to make myself do this, and it completely changed my life. I wake up and go, I love my life. I love being here. My first coffee, go, I love this coffee. I love my sheets. I love everything. And that's not really true, but if you can make your mind be happy with little wins, every time you eat something, it's sensational. Make a phone call, go, this is great. I'm reading, I'm watching my favorite show. This is amazing. When you sit down at the end of the day to watch Netflix, go, this is amazing. This is wonderful. You're training your mind to celebrate tiny little things. And when you get big things, every day feels like Christmas. So if you want to be happy, live in the moment. Keep telling yourself the tiniest little thing makes you happy, because that's what children do. And do not ever give your responsibility to be happy to someone else. I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I'm rich, when I look good, when I'm thinner, when I'm married. Because I work with people who are rich, thin, married, and millionaires. You know what? They're miserable because they too are waiting for happiness to arrive. Happiness doesn't arrive, and you don't go to it. It has to be in your life today, right now. I remember going to somebody's wedding, a very dear friend of mine, and she was so stressed about making this wedding perfect that she forgot to enjoy it. I know my daughter's first birthday was a great event, and I forgot to take a single picture because I was so busy making sure she was happy and everyone else was happy. The next day I had to restage this party just to take the photos because I didn't understand then what I understand now. Happiness is being in the moment, living in the moment. And sometimes I go to events and I watch people and they're so busy filming it that they're not in it. They're no longer in the moment. They're no longer enjoying a coffee or a lunch or a concert because they're filming it instead of being in it. And there's nothing wrong with filming it, but when you finished your filming, put the camera down, be in the moment. The moment is all you ever have. Live in the moment. So let me summarize for you. You're not going anywhere to be happy. Happiness is not out there. It's here right now, this moment, and you can choose to be happy. And I promise you, this sentence will change your whole life if you say it every day. I'm choosing to be happy, choosing to live in the moment. I'm choosing to always find happiness. I'm not looking for it, but I'm finding it because it's all around me. So remember, there is no destination called happiness. Happiness is an inside job. Choose to be happy. Never give your power to be happy to someone else. Because if you give them the power to make you happy, you know what you're giving them? Of course, the power to later make you unhappy. Live in the moment. Celebrate every small win. Teach your mind to be happy, and then your mind will start to feed it back to you without you even noticing, and you'll start to notice that you are happy all the time. Go ahead and make some comments below about the things that already make you happy, so other people think, oh yeah, I could do that. I never thought I could just do that, and then I would be happy. And remember, if you talk to a kid, what makes you happy? They go, the rain, the wind. When I was in Africa, I asked somebody what made them happy. They said the sun, the dark, the light, the cold, the beach, the sea, because they naturally do that. They live in the moment. Live in the moment. Choose to be happy. Remember that sentence you're going to say. Every day I'm choosing to be happy. I'm choosing to be happy right now.
Check out my next video here. The best plan in the world may not work if you don't work too.
So many of my clients get into destructive behavior, drugs, drinking, procrastination, self-loathing, because we can't appreciate stuff that we're just given. We like it much more when we earn it.